Step into the grand arena where legends come to fight. Bodies clash and dreams ignite under the neon lights. Oh yeah. On Water Dave, he's the voice, calling every move. Amy and Justin Davis, getting you in the groove. Oh yeah. Feel the energy, the thunder, as the crowd begins to roar. High-flying daredevils in a battle like never before. Oh yeah. From the turnbuckle to the mat, the action never stops. Talking wrestling takes you to the top. Oh yeah. Talking wrestling, it's a wild ride. From suplexes to body slams, we got it all inside. Get ready for the excitement, the drama, the show. Talking wrestling is ready to throw down. Oh yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Talking Wrestling with Palm Water Dave. I am Palm Water Dave, joined as always by the First Lady of the Arn Anderson Fan Club, Miss Amy Vaughn.
Hello, hello.
Amy, how are you?
You know, I'm a little under the weather today, but I wouldn't want to miss you all, so I'm going to tough it out.
Well, I think everybody's got that WrestleMania hangover. Our guest, unfortunately, couldn't make it tonight. We'll have Kyle Davis back another time. And Justin's not with us as well. So
it's the eclipse. Remember, I was talking to you about earlier. I had someone that posted a question on Facebook and was asking like if people had a headache before or after the eclipse, and it is amazing how many people said, "Yeah, I did." And the bariatric pressure changes. I feel like I'm sensitive to that, even when we have like really bad storms coming through, like I can get a headache. And so I just wonder did you see the eclipse yesterday?
I didn't realize it was really cloudy. I thought we just had a bad storm coming in. It was over with and I didn't even realize it had happened.
You didn't know
it didn't get real dark in Mississippi.
Well, that's true. Where you weren't really in the line, like we were kind of at the very bottom of the line.
It just looked like a bad storm was coming in.
Yeah. It was pretty cool, though, to see. Yeah. I think the next one is 2024.
Have you ever seen that movie, Night of the Comet?
Mm-mm. What's it about?
Everybody was having an asteroid party. They were all out partying and watching the asteroid that was going to be visible. And when the asteroid came by, everybody left. Everybody disappeared.
What year is this movie?
In the late 80s.
Late 80s?
Late 80s.
So before, was it like Halley's Comet? Or was it just a made-up
Night
asteroid?
Of the Comet. But there was a couple of kids that ducked off into a storage shed to make out, and they were shielded, so they lived. And they're basically kind of zombies. There were some people that were kind of zombies, but they basically had the world to themselves. And
Interesting.
It was a fun movie.
Interesting. So
But what I'm saying is watching everybody on social media with their eclipse parties, like with their margaritas and their glasses and partying, watching the eclipse yesterday. It kind of reminded me of the Night of the Comet.
Yeah, or
even when my kids were real little, we had a meteor shower that was highly visible, and we lived where we lived. The neighbors, we were all out laying in the yard on blankets, looking up at the watching the show, and we all kind of had a neighborhood party to watch all that. So,
Coach Keith was still in bed from enjoying WrestleMania. That's the reason why he didn't know about the eclipse.
Well, and I've also heard it's always sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, very true. I didn't even think about that being a possible problem. But it was fun. Like, I mean, it was nice to see the eclipse. It kind of what you were talking about reminds me of the one scene in Independence Day where it's like there was a countdown and everybody's up on the buildings and they're just
Yeah.
like welcome and all this, and then they like blow all the buildings up and stuff, and maybe not as friendly as we thought. So
You remember when that came out, how blown away by the graphics we were that it looked so real?
yeah, it was a good it's a good movie, I think.
I
I
took all
mean,
my kids to see it at a midnight movie.
really,
Yes.
how long ago? How when do you think that movie came out?
Late 90s?
Like 94 maybe? That's what
That's
I was
after that.
thinking.
96, 97.
Probably something like that. Maybe I'll look it up real quick.
Heather Whitley's in the chat and she says, lucky them. My manager called a sudden meeting during the eclipse. And when she was done, she said, "You guys missed it. Thank me later." Oh, that's kind of,
That's kind of not nice.
well,
Did you want to see it, Heather? I mean,
I got
that's,
tickled because in Texas, they were saying that Forney, Texas would be an excellent place to watch it.
mm-hmm.
And the traffic from Dallas to Forney is ridiculous
Oh, I
all the
bet.
time because Forney's outgrown the highway systems that get you there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a boom town. I mean, if you'd have told me when I left Texas in 2010 that the NWA would be holding the Crockett Cup in Forney, Texas, James Beard was talking about that facility, a state of the art facility.
Yeah.
I was talking to one of my friends that lives, and she says she lives right across the street from that venue.
Oh, cool.
And she had no idea they were doing wrestling there. But what I'm saying is that getting restaurants and Walmarts and car dealerships and everything, and liquor stores,
Mm-hmm.
thing. But when you can say that pro wrestling has made it to one of those towns and it's prominent, that it's really surprising. But back to what I was saying, when you started talking about how many millions of people were planning on going to Forney to get a
Mm-hmm.
look at the eclipse, on top of with the horrible traffic situation there is anyway.
That's pretty.
I wouldn't in a million years have been caught in Forney yesterday.
Yeah, no, that would have been. Now we did have in Paducah, we have a riverfront, and there was lots of people downtown that had their, folding chairs. They had a better view than we did. They're a little bit more north, and so, I could see where there's a lot of the schools. Some were out, some had kind of like let the kids go outside, and they sat outside and watched it. And I mean, it is something that some of them may not have seen the one in 2017. At least, I mean, I couldn't even tell you the last time I saw one before 2017. So I mean, it is
I think
quite
I was in school the last time
interesting.
I paid attention to one.
Really? Did you have to make your own glasses, like a big box
I think we poked a hole in a piece of paper and watched it that way.
and a piece of
Now I turned
paper?
around and looked at it.
And
I
there,
mean, why lie? I did it, and I'd have done it yesterday if I could have seen it.
I guess
But
maybe if you don't stare at it, I don't really know.
were you affected by the bad weather that hit Kentucky
When?
this last week?
Mm-mm. Must have
How
been
close to
higher up.
Louisville are you?
I'm 4 hours away.
Okay, then it was closer to
Yeah.
them than you. All right, glad to
Yeah.
hear it.
Yeah. No, no, no. No, no bad weather here. Oh, Heather said it would have been nice to see. Ha ha. They work virtual. Think she was afraid they wouldn't come back. I'm watching the eclipse.
So, did you watch Raw last night?
I watched part of it because, like I said, I wasn't feeling great, so I went to bed.
So you saw the first part?
Yes, I did. I think I saw the first hour.
Well, we'll circle back to it when we get through talking about WrestleMania
Yeah.
and there was lots of championships changed hands at WrestleMania this year.
I think I liked it. I think this was one of the better WrestleManias that I have seen in a very long time.
Yeah, they say it's the biggest ever, but it's not attendance wise. I wonder if it's profitability or box office is how they're gauging that.
because they had 7, I believe they had 7 matches the first night, 6 the second night. And I felt like it moved really well, and, it wasn't
Night
every
one
match.
moved. Night one moved a lot faster than night two to me.
You
That
think
4 hours
so?
on night one was over with before I knew it.
Yeah. I didn't think though night 2 was, I mean, I still felt like we were moving. Of course, I feel
It was
like,
well paced. It was well paced both nights.
yeah, and I feel like we were kind of like wanting to get to the Cody Roman match, and I hated that for the other ones because they're obviously very good matches. But I was very much, oh, Justin said it was the biggest gate.
Yes, the biggest gate for Mania. They continue to do that with prices continue to increase, and thankfully value does as well. It's
Yeah.
well said. He's right.
And I do like that they, started it at 7, which would have been 6 Central Time. And, it was over by 10:30. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like you're dragging yourself into bed at midnight or something
Right.
like that. And I mean, I think it was a good payoff. I think, I was very happy to see Cody finish the story. I know I've heard some ramblings a little bit about some people didn't like the John Cena, some of them coming out. They wanted it to be just all Cody. But I think those people like John Cena, Undertaker, Seth Rollins, none of them came out until a bloodline member came out, So
Yeah.
I
I mean,
kind
we
of
knew there
felt
was going to.
like,
It was like that the bloodline would build a better mousetrap, and then Cody's friends built a better mouse.
yeah. I mean, like, because as soon as you saw Jimmy, I didn't even see that was great. Like, I didn't even see him get in the ring, and then like all of a sudden, Cody gets a super kick.
I think that
But
the I think that the well, we'll get to it when we talk about
yes,
night two
yes,
in the
yes, yes.
match. We'll
Sorry,
we'll
sorry,
we'll
sorry,
pick
sorry.
we'll start, we'll break it down, but I feel like night one was a pro wrestling show.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like night two had more sports entertainment in it. I
In
felt
what
like you got
way?
your solid. I feel like you got your solid wrestling presentation on night one, and then night two is when you got a little more of your Gaga. They put the Hall of Famers in there. You
Yeah.
know, you had you just. I think that was where it,
But
you
you
know
know
what I'm
what?
saying with the
Yeah, they
with your
also had,
celebrities and
yeah. I think though too, they also had, like I said earlier, night 1 had 7 matches and night 2 had 6. So there was a little bit more time available to, like you said, do the Hall of Fame, do, you know, um, I'm
yeah.
trying to think, isn't that terrible? I know it hasn't been that long, but it has in a weird way. Um,
Well, D Man 406 is rolling with us in the chat tonight. We thank him for being here. Mania going to 2 nights was a great move. More time for talent and less draining for the fans. I 100% agree with that because I went
yes.
to WrestleMania in Dallas 8 years ago and I was exhausted. I mean, I was
Mhm.
absolutely worn out by the end of the show. Like, I got an invitation to come to where I probably could have met Stone Cold.
Mhm.
And, I'm kind of ready to call it a night.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think there's definite, and again, I think every match counted and mattered and was good timing. Again, that's the other thing, like, if you're just on there to be on there, like you said, and if people get there at, 1 o'clock in the afternoon because you're gonna have whatever NXT, you're gonna have multiple things going on, then that's a long time. That's 12 hours to sit there. So, if
Yeah,
it went for, so
they've
it is
really
good.
they've really brought it up to another level going 2 nights on it. I mean, we didn't go to both nights the last time it was in Dallas. We went to night one, we didn't go to night two.
How come? You just didn't, you had to go back, or you just
Well, we
didn't?
had to come back to Mississippi on
Yeah.
Sunday, but we made a last minute decision to go to night one. I actually bought my tickets about an hour before the show
Mhm.
and paid less for both of our tickets than the person paid for that's sitting next to us paid for one.
I have heard that is, I mean, I think that's for anything. I mean, because obviously
It's a
the
gamble.
seller. Yeah, I mean, it is a gamble.
But if you honestly don't care if you go or not, it'd be nice to go. But if we don't, we don't. If you got that
Right.
attitude, you can take that gamble, but it happened to pay off for us.
Well, and
But
I
if we
think
wouldn't have been able to get the tickets that we wanted to sit in at a reasonable price, we'd have just gone and done something else.
right. And I think too with the way I feel like the way it is now is like all the tickets practically are bought before it's actually open to the public between Ticketmaster or SeatGeek or StubHub and all of those. It's like you're getting second or whatever they call it, second purchased. No, they're not used, but I don't know what they're called. But anyway, you have all these people that go in and buy up, $1,000, 1,000 tickets or whatever, and then they sell them on the second.
Scalpers, brokers, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah,
Assholes.
yeah. But you could, like you said, you could be looking at SeatGeek and be like, okay, do you want to
I'd
make
like to
some
see
money?
WWE or AEW. I realize you got to work through a ticket broker for the venues, but they ought to
Yes.
have some kind of program that you can join that gives you first crack at tickets.
Do they not?
That
I don't know.
without getting it without the run it up their ass price.
Right. A lot of I mean, I know Taylor Swift does that, and a lot of bands and different. I wonder if they do it. Maybe we just don't know. But like if you are a member of their fan club or something like that, you get the pre-sale link.
Yeah.
I don't know if WrestleMania does that, or WWE does that, but it might not be a bad thing to look into.
Yeah, I don't know if you could get around the ticket brokers.
True.
Well, let's talk about it, Amy.
Yes, let's talk.
But before we talk about it, since we're going to talk about a lot of championships and a lot of championship belts, let's talk about big time belts. Big time belts at facebook.com. On Facebook, you can go to the Big Time Belts page, and Big Time Belts can make your dreams come true. If you're a wrestling promoter, Big Time Belts offers high quality at low prices. You can send your champion to the ring with belts that are quality, high quality, like you see on television. They become very affordable from overseas. It's custom work, fast turnaround times, and there's no sense in this day and age that an independent promotion uses a less than a toy belt with stickers on it. It's not necessary. Have pride in your promotion. For as little as $250, you could have, you send your champion to the ring, strutting that ass, looking like $1 million damn dollars. You can get to, customized work. King, Hair Show King, the hair guru King got the Russell Chew.
That's cool.
It's a barber belt. They're located. This is in Louisiana. I noticed on the side plate that Louisiana is.
Oh, I see it
on the side plate. I mean, they have taken a basically the design of the AEW belt, and got it kind of customized to make it their own with the barber's chairs. It's a beautiful piece. It's a beautiful, beautiful belt.
So if you can think it up,
they can do it.
They can make it.
I mean, look at the style of this belt that I'm holding. You see me holding if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you watch us at. The Mississippi Seawolves belt in conjunction with Gulf Coast Wrestling in Bay Springs, Mississippi. I actually had the opportunity to go. When I worked down there, one of the hockey players was there, and he had that belt with him, and I went over and introduced myself, and I wanted to see the belt, and it's just that's not a common design. That's
no, I love that blue.
That is bad to the bone, and I'm not teasing. How about this? If you're getting married,
if
you're getting married, Mr. and Mrs. Belts with the date September 7th, 2024. This couple is gonna. They got them a set of belts, and they are wrestlers. And but you can celebrate your big day. You can celebrate your big day with a wrestling belt. I've known several people that have done this.
I know our friend Lindsay that's getting married in a couple of weeks. She has done this.
Yeah, she showed us hers the other night. She
Yeah.
did not go to Big Time Belts, but
I didn't know where she
she
went.
still got her something really cool to be
Yeah.
anyway.
Brass
Somebody
knuckles.
recently used the old Texas brass knuckles design to have a Louisiana brass knuckles championship made.
Is that a real, like, what does that
No,
mean?
they just have to make it look like a pair of brass knuckles. My Texas brass knuckles belt actually has a pair of brass knuckles
But
attached to the main plate.
who would be a champion? Like, they actually use brass knuckles, or is it what does that mean
The
to be the
brass knuckles was kind of like a taped fist, anything goes kind of champion.
Okay,
In
okay.
1982, Jose Lothario was defending the Texas Brass Knuckles Championship. Dusty Rhodes is a former Texas Brass Knuckles champion. Terry Gordy was the Texas Brass Knuckles champion. You can actually find in early 1983 a match with Terry Gordy, and David Manning holds the Texas Brass Knuckles title up. It's probably the only time I've ever seen it on television.
Is it almost hardcore in a sense? Not that you're using a bunch of objects, but like you're using,
It was a fight. Yeah.
I mean,
It was just
interesting.
a
Okay.
close
Tough
fist
man.
illegal.
Tough
I
man
mean, and nobody
fight.
was actually putting on brass knuckles, but
Right. Okay. I just wasn't for sure. I don't know if I'd heard of that before, but or maybe I had. Awesome. That's
and
cool.
ATCW's heavyweight champion with this unique design with the white leather. The
I'm digging the
what do you
white
call that kind of
leather.
plate? It's the same one. It's kind of like the plating that they use on the steps at WWE.
Yeah.
The term is escaping me,
I don't know.
but that's kind of a
I know what you're.
that's kind of a
Yes.
cool. And then our good friend Tim Robinson. Tim Robinson's in the chat. He had a vision. He had a vision almost 20. He had a vision 15 years ago of what he wanted his wrestling belts to look like, and for his promotion. And now his dreams have come true, and he's got his heavyweight championship belt, as you see here, the AMW heavyweight championship. And now he is the proud owner of the AMW junior heavyweight championship, which I
Ooh.
will go out and say yeah, diamond plated is what I
Yes.
couldn't come up with. Thank you, Tim.
Tim.
I like his junior heavyweight championship better than I do his heavyweight championship.
I love that blue. I love the different leathers. Those are just stunning. I mean, it just
This is
really
a
makes it pop.
beautiful belt. The
Yes, it
color,
is.
the American flags on there, the font. I love this style of belt. This makes the belt Pope's pants go crazy. And you too can make your belt Pope pants go crazy. Big Time Belts, Facebook.com. Be sure to mention that you heard it on Talking Wrestling with Palm Water Dave. And we thank them for sponsoring our pod.
So I got a question. I know we're going to talk about the Wrestlemania. Something that I don't know if I know your opinion on it. It'd be interesting. And the guys in the chat love to hear about it from you. Do you think that fans should be at the Hall of Fame, or do you think that should be more of a private event that's telecasted so we can still see it? But, sometimes the fans, they want to be part of things so much that they almost hijack stuff. And so I'm just kind of curious to see, and anybody in the chat, what do you all think about the Hall of Fame being live with fans?
I enjoy the Hall of Fame. I enjoy going to the Hall of Fame. I was at the Hall of Fame when the Fabulous Freebirds were inducted. I was at the Hall of Fame the year before that when Mr. T was inducted, and they had to come out and get him because he loves his mama very, very much.
Who doesn't
At
love their mama?
one point of his what felt like 3-day filibuster, I actually called my mother and told my mother that I loved her,
Well, see?
which popped everybody that was sitting around us. I mean, when it goes wrong, you really don't want the fans there. I
Mhm.
think I think a standalone Hall of Fame in a small venue is a good idea. I do think fans should be there, but I think in a huge arena, after SmackDown is
Mm-hmm.
not a good idea, because after you've watched wrestling, you're tired. The fans were
Right.
tired.
Right.
And then, let's be honest, how do you go after Paul Heyman? You put the best one out there first.
Well, but could you imagine what those fans would be like if Paul didn't go first? Like, that's all they
Yeah,
would
they'd
be
watch the
waiting
Hall of
for.
Fame and get geeked for Paul to come out and be energized when they left.
No, see, I think complete opposite. I think that they would be
But
shitting on everybody until Paul came out.
and thank you, Chillin, for Chase. He thinks it should be a private event that's telecasted. Some fans just chant too much nonsense. 100% agree. He went to the Mania 39 Hall of Fame, and some of the fans were just annoying. He's not wrong. That's why I said, as a fan that likes to go, I really don't want that taken away from the fans. It should be an honor to attend the Hall of Fame. I think it
Right.
should be maybe a small venue with a large price tag.
So make
So if
it
you had to,
their yeah,
if you had to really invest in getting a ticket to it, and maybe you just come out and you tell the crowd, "Hey, you paid to be here. We got no problems about kicking your ignorant ass out.
right.
This
Well,
is what this is about." But
right.
I do think a small venue completely separate from a wrestling show, and I know why they do it the way they do it. But like somebody even mentioned a minute ago, that Bret Hart, yeah, Heather
Oh,
said, when
yeah.
like when they attacked Bret Hart.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, Justin Yen says, I think a private event before or after the public event would be great. Fans can make or break it. I agree. But I think it should be smaller and on Thursdays. Fans used to be encouraged to dress up and love the ambiance. I 100% agree with that. I don't want to ever be in a spot where I could not go to the Hall of Fame if I wanted to.
Right.
And
But not after, just like Coach Keith, after SmackDown, like, that's just too much. Like, it
oh yeah,
probably
yeah,
would,
yeah. It
you
was,
know, a
but you
s
know why they did it. It was production costs. They were already
oh,
set
well,
up,
well,
and
my so they don't make 2,000,000,000, they make 1,000,000,000, 900,000,000. I mean, I understand. And maybe they
well,
feel like they can control some of that, they can, but I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of the same. I would hope. I would love to, like I said, I like watching it. And I want people to have their flowers, and I want them to be able to give their speech, and I am very
I don't like them
appreciative.
going down and have it in the ring without ropes. I'm not a fan of it being in a ring.
Well, I feel like they probably do that for the older ones, don't you? I mean, there's
Well,
no
they used
way.
to do it on the podium. They
Mm.
they did it on the podium. I
Do you
mean, they
think
did it
that's
up on the stage.
right? But do you think that's just so everybody gets a better view? Again, if you're doing it after SmackDown, maybe you
Well,
can kind of have that
that's what I'm
set
saying.
up,
It
or
can't
I
be
don't know.
after a wrestling show.
Yeah, I agree.
It needs to be a standalone event set up.
I like what Justin said on a Thursday because I mean, the whole week leading up to WrestleMania pretty much is
Do it on Wednesday.
different shows and different things that, like you
Do it
said,
on Wednesday at 7, 8 o'clock, eight
no.
o'clock Eastern, 7 Central.
I think Thursday, that's kind of like the kickoff
Oh, come on. You know you
because
want to
then you
see if
have
the Hall of Fame would
Friday.
outdraw AEW, if they have more viewers than AEW.
I don't, I'm not confrontational like that. I
No, I'm
wouldn't
just
want to do
wondering.
that.
I'm just wondering. I ain't saying, I'm just saying.
I'm just thinking Thursday though would be good because you could go Thursday, the Hall of Fame. You could go Friday SmackDown, then you have WrestleMania, so it's kind of a good little
I agree.
transition and stuff
I,
because people are already there. I mean, people are coming in, all
Well, when I
kinds of
went,
other.
SmackDown wasn't on. I don't believe SmackDown was on Friday nights when I went.
Mm. But you know what I'm saying? There's like an independent wrestling, like there's, hundreds of different conventions and access and independent shows and so you could definitely, it's not like, oh well, nobody's in town on Thursday. You could
Yeah.
definitely do it separate, and maybe they will in the next, who knows, like you
Yeah.
said, we are in the Paul Levesque era, as we were told many
And
times.
and they can't be happy with how the crowd was acting in Philadelphia.
But should
I
they
mean,
be
I don't know.
surprised? I mean, I don't think they
And
should
it's
be
not just
surprised.
Philadelphia. I mean, it's happened. It's been, it's it they've been the fans tend to hijack.
Mhm.
I will say that they were really well behaved for Thunderbolt Patterson.
Yes. I think I would've been way more disappointed if they hadn't, I mean, like, if they wanna be silly and
They
whatever,
showed him a great deal of respect, and I like that
yes, and he
because
was
I
probably
because
ta
because I guarantee you there was more people there that didn't know who Thunderbolt Patterson was that did.
oh, sure. Oh, definitely, and what impact he might have made, and I wonder if that might have even been, like,
And that's fair
maybe
because there's
there was a little bit more security and you know what I'm saying? Like, who's to say that they didn't really, you know, get on some people if they
and
started, just during him because,
and that's fair
I don't
that
know.
the young people don't. I mean, they need to go out of their way to find out about him. Y'all better call somebody.
That's right.
But what I'm saying is us older guys knew who Thunderbolt Patterson was. But I'll be honest and tell you that there was several people that were featured on WrestleMania that I had no clue who they were.
What do you mean? What
Like
WrestleMania?
the
This
people that
one?
sang
Oh,
"God Bless
okay.
America."
Yeah, I don't know who they are either. I don't know if they're a
I'd never heard of
Philadelphia
them.
group.
I didn't know who Meek Mill was.
I wouldn't know that either. All I know is that I
I
thought he was with P. Diddy, and I didn't even know he was I don't know. So I
I
seem
mean, but
very
what I'm saying is, but I've been introduced to something new. I want to hear more from that couple. They were phenomenal.
yes, they
And
were.
how about that that we got the national anthem on that one, and the lady that sang it did a beautiful job on it. And then you had God Bless America on that too.
Yes.
And Vince McMahon always had America the Beautiful because he wanted to be different. Everybody
Mm,
did the national anthem.
right.
So I kind of thought when they would get the national anthem on that one and a God Bless America on that too was they that was
I
a
liked it.
that
I
was
do.
a I felt like that was a solid attempt to change what's gone on in the last 39 WrestleManias.
Right. Well, and you have 2 events, so, I mean, it makes sense that you can have 2 di like,
Yeah, they didn't
an
do the
open
national anthem both nights.
and I like how they use I'm pretty sure all those people were local talents, not saying that they're not famous, but they're from the Philadelphia area. I like how they try to do that when they're in a city and they try to, highlight different people. Um, excuse me. Yeah, he is a rapper, and I do agree with Heather. You are very right. They were able to have a very cool Bray Wyatt moment
Yes.
because of the fans, and I
I
just
popped for
think
Barry saying, "You can turn you want to just use the flashlight on my phone
I
because you
know,
could tell that Mike Rotundo was struggling with the technology to get his light on."
I know. Doesn't he I mean, I think that Mike
I
Rotunda
think
is
he uses a flip
probably
phone, is what I think.
he probably does, but don't you just think he's the sweetest? Like, he just seems like the sweetest like, he wrestled, he's been married to his wife for 40 years, like, they have a, good marriage, he's got 3 great kids. I don't know, he
Would
seems
love
like a
for
grandpa that, like you said, struggling with the phone, and it's
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
Well, and what I like is that for one, I think it's a travesty that as a character, IRS wasn't already in the WWE Hall of Fame.
True.
I mean, like I was shocked when I found out that he wasn't already in the Hall of Fame. I just
Right.
assumed he was.
I think he's
But in
because
but in a
kinda
world
go
but in a
ahead.
world where you have to be a character, that he got to go in the WWE and him Barry Windham as well, that they got to go in the WWE Hall of Fame as Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo. And
Yeah,
Barry's in twice with the Horsemen.
right.
And they didn't I mean, and let's face it, the Stalker was not Hall of Fame material. But
No,
but but the new Blackjacks in my mind they were. But for Mike Rotundo to get to go in as Mike Rotundo and that they made it a beautiful Bray moment and they incorporated his sister. And for that night, he wasn't Bo Dallas, he was Taylor Rotundo. It I thought that was very. I mean, there was a lot of moments in that Hall of Fame that I was, you know, trying to hold it together.
Well, I think especially with the documentary just coming out, again, I don't know why time goes by fast and then it doesn't because it's like he died in August, the end
Yeah,
of
it seems
August.
longer.
I know, I was like, "It just seems so much longer," and I don't even know if you would have asked me how long ago it's been, would I have been able to really come up with a time frame? But that's like, 8 months? Like, it was
Yeah, I would
not
have said it
even,
was.
you know,
I'm not even sure
7
I would have
months.
said in 2023. It seemed
Right,
longer to me.
and so the f just, you know, and everything that they were going through, and obviously they seem like a very close family, and then for whatever reason, he's supposed to be wearing a vest, doesn't, and I just can't imagine just and you could see it on their faces. I mean, like I said, that,
I want to
that
circle
loss
back. I
was
want to circle
profound.
back to Thunderbolt Patterson real quick. When they
Yeah,
brought him out and he saw Gerald Briscoe and he stopped the guy from pushing the wheelchair and got out of that
yes,
wheelchair and went to Briscoe. That was the most genuine, like they just seemed like they were so genuinely happy to see each other.
I know, and
And
did
I
you
know
see
he told Briscoe that he loved him because I heard
mhm,
Briscoe say, "I love you more."
and did you see Gerald Briscoe was the one that pushed him out or was out there with them when they did the Hall of Fame on
Yes,
night
yeah.
2? I thought that was pretty cool, and, I bet he might but that is pretty cool. I
And
mean, I'm sure
I
Thunderbolt
like
hasn't seen
the video where everybody was talking about all the things he did that, Dusty Rhodes, I'm gonna get funky. They
yeah,
showed Thunderbolt said it. It's a new day.
yep,
The Road Dogg said that he was ripping him off and didn't even realize he was ripping him off. But he
yeah,
heard it. Oh, you better call somebody.
exactly.
And I liked how he would talk and he'd go, and right before he would cuss, he would go, ooh, and when he got up there and the spirit was all over him, giving that he gave a great message. He took everybody to church. Didn't
Yes, he
really
did.
talk about wrestling.
I was really, interested to see I'm very glad that they gave reverence, I guess, because he said, "Let's" "We gotta pray." "We're gonna start this out with prayer." I mean, I'm
Yeah,
sure that probably maybe took some people by surprise, but, they seem very, um I can't think of the right word, but they recognized him as a Hall of Fame and were, on their P's and Q's.
right.
So
And let's not forget that Paul Heyman confessing his love to Stephanie after buttering up Triple H was insane.
she married the wrong Paul.
I loved it. Man, Paul Heyman was so good. So good. Thank you for that, Chase. Thanks for reminding us of that. Uh,
Yes.
I mean, the whole thing. But yeah, he said a bunch of stuff, but still, man, him putting on that jacket and that hat and the headset
The music coming out, like, I
and
just,
and and talking about the Dangerous Alliance and talking about being that kid backstage with all the greats and
mhm.
man, he is and unapologetically saying, "Yes, I do deserve it."
Yes, and he does. Very,
And
very much
yes,
so.
that was fun. It was real fun, but I love the Hall of Fame, and hopefully, maybe next year they'll get Lex Luger in there. He's way overdue. There's so many. There's so many doors that are open now for people to get in the Hall of Fame that shouldn't. Maybe we'll start getting some referees in there.
I think that will be very interesting. I thought it was interesting we did not see the Warrior Award being given out, and I don't know if that's anything if they're going to repackage it or they're gonna try to do it every year or if it's just because I don't think she works there anymore, does she? The
No,
wife?
she was released a while ago.
So, I mean, that might be just kinda like, done with or
Well,
whatever, or if they rename it or whatever.
and I'm cool with it because they got away from what the original purpose of the Warrior Award was for. Well, I mean, from what they said it was going to be, it became something else.
Mm.
And I'm not saying that the people that have won the Warrior Award weren't worthy of recognition for whatever they were recognizing them for. I'm just saying that it wasn't what the original mission statement for the Warrior Award would be. It'd be probably a lot different if Warrior wouldn't have died.
True.
As long as they stayed on good terms.
True.
All right.
But I did. Yeah, I think we're gonna see some. Like, I love that Bull Nakano.
There he is.
Well, hey,
there
Justin.
he is, ladies and gentlemen. Justin Davis is in the room.
What's up?
Not
I've been
much.
listening to the whole thing.
We are just been talking about the Hall of Fame. I do agree with D-Man here. One Man Gang, Bam Bam, definitely should be in the Hall of Fame. I think Lalani Kai, like, like some of those older.
Yeah.
I think the pissing matches are over. I think the personal pissing matches are over.
Yeah, I think
we're going to get Demolition eventually.
Lex next year, hopefully. Yeah, Demolition for sure. All kinds of guys right there. Yep,
he's already in the Hall of Fame, but
not alone.
Does he have a sickle? What does he have in there?
They put him in as the executioner.
Oh, okay.
I wish they'd thrown the UWF belts in there, but they put it on the box.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm very confused about.
They're coming out with the big boss man. They're coming out with the big boss man with the UWF belt.
You guys made me shudder while I was listening earlier. You brought up that horrible memory that I tried to put out of my mind of Bret Hart being savagely attacked by that horrible human being.
Hey man, FTR Revival came to his rescue and punched that dude a few times.
Right.
So,
I do want to catch up and just say I kind of agree that I think the fans were horrible at the Hall of Fame. I didn't think that they were particularly all that good during WrestleMania. I mean, they popped hard for moments, but I don't know. I was kind of, like Dave said, a little bit disappointed in the Philadelphia crowd. I don't really like it there in the middle of all the fans because that stuff can happen. I mean, honestly, they could take over someone's speech if they wanted to, and the person couldn't even talk.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of like the days of back when they did it kind of in a controlled environment. Even though there were fans there, it wasn't like, as big of a crowd as they have in these arenas.
So you kind of think you might like it as a single, on a Thursday, you pay to get a ticket to come in, but it's a smaller venue. It's not after SmackDown where people have been screaming and hollering for
drinking
2 hours and drinking. Yeah, really. Midnight Express, definitely.
100% deserve to be in there.
I think though too, yeah. And maybe with the new, I don't know does Jim Cornette like Triple H? I don't think Jim Cornette would ever stand in the way of Midnight Express getting their flowers, So
they got to plan it. They got to plan it within driving distance to get him there. But
I don't know that Jim. I don't know that Jim would go. Honestly, he'd probably be okay. You can put me in, but it doesn't mean I got to go.
For the Rock and Roll Express. He'd go. He'd definitely go for.
You think?
Yeah. I think he would. Like you said, he would.
I remember him talking on his show like that he didn't want to be put in or whatever. But maybe I thought about.
Well, I think I remember he was talking about it because they have that Legends deal. Like all these people have a Legends deal, but maybe that could be different. And so he didn't want that responsibility because, like you said, he likes being at home. He's got his podcast. He's got his dog and his wife. They're very happy. And I think maybe the Legends deal, and who's to say Stan Lane and Dennis Condrey would even want to do that?
Yeah.
They're the only ones
they definitely
left.
deserve it, man. One of the best tag teams ever.
Oh, yeah, without question.
If they're not in, then it's not a legitimate Hall of Fame of tag teams.
And
Bobby Eaton obviously in that group. But
and Justin, let's just keep the guy that attacked Bret was a Goldberg fan, and he just got tired of all that lip. Bret Hart needed to be checked for all that Goldberg rhetoric that he spews.
Yeah, his spear was about as good as Goldberg's. It was about a half hit.
The fans that run in have really come up with a good spear. I mean, the one that got Seth Rollins in the aisle that time got him with a pretty good spear.
Why in the world would you even like? People are so dumb, right? Like,
And
why would you do that?
that's
Dang, on
another
an
reason.
independent show. On an independent show a couple weeks ago, somebody got in the ring, got choked out.
As they should, right?
And
I mean,
yeah, I believe Adam from Bama was reffing that show. Was it Adam from Bama? No. Corwin, Corwin Colebrook was
was
reffing that show.
reffing?
He was a ref in that show. He just started refereeing. We talk
Poor
sometimes
thing.
about. He's a new referee. We talk,
Oh,
and he wasn't the referee in that match, but he was on that show. It was
oh my
crazy.
goodness. I can imagine somebody. I mean, oh. Anywho, next.
Here we go. WrestleMania 40. We're going to start with night 1. I didn't change the graphic because after Dragon Lee got hurt and was replaced by Andrade El Idolo, but Andrade and Rey Mysterio were victorious over Dominic and Santos Escobar.
The best part was Jason Kelsey with his shirt
My
off.
daughter,
Just saying.
my non-wrestling fan daughter sent me a clip of that and was so excited that Travis Kelsey's doing what he wants to do in retirement.
I love it.
And
yes.
yeah, but so I mean, Brittany's husband likes wrestling. He really likes the Attitude Era stuff that he's found on Peacock. He likes watching the old stuff, so she's been watching some of the old stuff. So maybe for her to be on top of it to see that Travis Kelsey showed up to WrestleMania I was pretty impressed.
Pretty good.
Maybe she's a closet wrestling fan. We don't know. But do we think that Carlito's the one that took Dragon Lee out?
He's the one that found him, right? Or he was. I'm trying to remember. Like he was
Carlito
over
found him.
Yeah, I think Carlito took him out because he wanted his spot, and then he didn't end up getting it anyway. So now that's going to turn him heel.
Yeah, because he seems to keep getting looked over for everything. It's like they look through him, they don't see him.
Gotcha.
And by the way, I do want to do a little bragging here. I think I was the only one to pick the faces to win this match in our last show.
Yeah, I think you did. You did. You're very right.
Well, no, I'm and not one. I'm 100%. I got every one of them right, and not one.
I got all of them, but this one because I did pick Dominic.
I said that Ray was going to beat Dom, but
yeah.
But the only thing I got wrong on that one was that Seth didn't turn on Cody.
Never turned on him.
But I thought this was a good match, and I had no idea who the masked wrestlers that showed up were.
I didn't either. No idea what was going on.
I didn't know, but it gave me it was a real James Gang back in the day, James Gang type of feel, you know.
Well, they came out in their Wranglers and boots, and you're just
that's what made me think about it with like Dusty and Magnum, and it was fun.
Yeah.
And I didn't know who the bald-headed guy was, but I knew who Kelsey was.
Lance Johnson is what I believe I was told. I'm assuming he's on the Eagles. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I just know who Kelsey is.
As a Cowboy fan, you can only imagine that I give less than a damn about the Eagles, except for Jalen Hurts. I like Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts played for Alabama, Roll Tide, and Oklahoma Boomer Sooners. So those are my two favorite colleges.
Everything's got a little tag phrase to go with their school name. I like that.
Lane Johnson is the right tackle for the Eagles. Thank you.
Bless his heart. Bless his heart. Gunther versus Sami Zayn. We knew that Sami Zayn, after the Rocky montage, was going to win this.
Definitely.
Hell of a match. Hated to see Gunther lose the title. But
he's on to bigger and better things.
I think so. But it's a great match.
I thought this was the best match of night one for me.
I agree. My sentiments exactly. And okay. Then we had the 6-pack tag. I didn't change that slide, y'all. Huh? I didn't do it.
Well, we better
It
hurry up
wasn't
talk
me.
about it before it changes
I'm
again.
looking to see if anybody's in there that's has slipped in on us. The 6-pack ladder match was what I thought it was going to be. I don't really care for ladder matches that much.
I
One
like
interesting tidbit about these ladders
Mhm.
that it was discovered from somebody took really good pictures of it, that they're actually using wood ladders and painting them to look like metal, which I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with it if the wood's safer than the metal.
well, that
Yeah.
one didn't look like metal or didn't look like wood because the leg was
I know.
broke and they were still using it. Like
But
it looked like metal to me.
I think the people who won are the ones that we actually picked.
We did pick them.
I thought it
I,
was I thought
I
it was
did
pretty.
step out and pick DIY, but I
Oh,
picked
yes.
Theory and what's
and they
but
won it early. They
Yeah,
won it
that's what I was
early.
gonna say. They really
yeah,
did. They kind of won that early.
But R-Truth with the hot tag, wanting the hot tag in a ladder match was awesome.
Yes,
But R-Truth holding that tag belt at the end of the night was the feel good moment. It was a
definitely.
definite feel good moment. And Kofi jumping off the ladder backwards over the ropes was just insane. DIY doing their best DX impression was good.
That was so great. He keeps calling him DX and
I
Shawn
know.
Michaels is in the ring, and oh my god, it's
And
hilarious.
Truth, my God, though, R-Truth is the MVP of the WWE. He's low
Yes,
key the best thing they have.
definitely.
A hidden, I don't know if it's their hidden secret, or just a chef's kiss or whatever. But even Monday night when Damian Priest was having his moment and Rhea Ripley were having their moment, and they hold those belts up, and you see R-Truth walk up in the middle and hold his belt up too. Man, I
That
lost it.
was
It's
funny.
so good.
That was funny. And just
my
a big smile and just, oh Lord, it's hilarious. I agree.
my favorite
That's
spot in this match was when we were getting toward the end and they were doing a bunch of spots on the ladder and the one ladder was broke and the referee tried to stop Damian Priest from going up and doing a spot there toward the end on it and he shook her off and told her to no or whatever and went right up the ladder and they made it work and then after that spot they yanked it out of there and put a new one.
yeah, really.
I just found
So
out before we came on the air that I'm gonna get to referee a ladder match.
really,
May 31st.
Who? Where?
McGee for Lost Art of Wrestling.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and Sammy is going to defend. He's going to defend his newly won title, the cruiserweight title, against Simon Phillips. That's going to be a guest on our show. I think Simon's going to be our guest next week or the week after.
Ooh,
So
cool.
that's going to be fun to have him on. I'm going to get to work with him. But Ray Fury's going to be in the ladder match. Super excited.
That will be.
Super excited about
How many people are going to be in the ladder match? You said
4.
4.
Oh man, you're gonna have to need a second referee. You're too old to handle all that going on at once.
Oh.
You just turned 58.
That's right. That's true.
They may have to get a different referee because I ain't holding ladders. Referees catch too much crap holding ladders in ladder matches.
That's true.
I got an image to protect.
Yes,
All
you
right,
do.
y'all. I digress. Let's go to the next one. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Jade Cargill and 5 other chicks had a match. No, I'm gonna get serious for a moment. Yeah. Jade Cargill and 5 other ladies had a match.
It was what it was. Which is not always a bad thing, but we knew Dakota Kai would probably take the pin. We knew Jade was going to get the pin because this was kind of her first WrestleMania, and they are wanting to showcase her. So what better way? I loved how they all came out similarly dressed and just the look of all. I mean, it was very well.
WWE has presented Jade in a way that's she's a star. I mean, I'm in awe of her.
Yes.
And and I'm not being pervy about it. I mean, she's just spectacular.
Yes, you are, but
I'm
that's
just
okay.
so beyond impressed with her every time I see her. When they showed her on Raw last night, the way they shot her, the camera angles made
I
her
did
look
not
large.
see her.
She
I'm
looks
sure
like a
she's
super.
great.
She looks like a superhero.
Amy, let's just say he was being sincere with just a sprinkle of pervy.
Yes, just a sprinkle. As we definitely have known. I mean, I don't blame you. She's beautiful. I mean, she's definitely, uh, she gets good enough.
She
And I
makes
say
me
that
wish I was. She makes me wish I was 50 years younger.
You mean you'd
50.
be 8?
Well, yeah, I'd be 8 years old. This kind of shit wouldn't bother me.
Well,
Anyway, we had Jade Cargill, we had Naomi, and we had Bianca Belair
I don't even know what to say about that. No.
taking on
Dave
the
hit
Kabuki
puberty
Warriors
early,
and
didn't
Asuka and Kairi Sane, along with Dakota Kai. I just saw the most wicked picture before we came on the air with them on the ramp because Asuka hit Kairi Sane with the mist.
Yes.
And the picture was wicked. I wish I would have made it presentable for the podcast.
What was just her face, like what it looked like, or what are you
Yeah, I
talking
mean,
about?
it's just that she was selling that her eyes were burning from the
Oh,
mist still,
okay.
and they
Yes,
were up the
yes.
ramp, but just, you could see the mist all over. It's
That's
just a
pretty
really
cool.
good picture. And but it was a good match for what it was. Jade was showcased.
Definitely.
And obviously, they're gonna do good things with Jade. She took on Chelsea Green on Raw last night. Pretty much a squash match. Chelsea Green does such a great job. And she was like backstage complaining to all 3 GMs. NXT. Nick Aldis was there. Adam Pearce was there. Is her name Ava Johnson? What's her? She's the NXT manager. Rockstar's the NXT manager.
What is her? Is it Ava? Ava Rain, right?
Yeah.
I think it's not Johnson.
Not
You know
Johnson,
what I mean?
but anyway, she's the DM, and they all just kind of knew that they'd done put Chelsea in something and said, your match is next, and got her in the ring. And then she says that she's getting Jade Cargill, and she's like, call this off. Call this off.
Yeah, really. Can't blame her for that one.
Chase, I'm gonna chilling with Chase asks a question, and I don't know if y'all are in the loop on this or not. I read this today. What do y'all think of Mark Henry getting mad at Kyrie for not exiting the ring when Jade and Bianca and Naomi entered? I didn't notice it when it happened.
I did.
I saw a clip, and I don't know what happened.
Okay,
I know where he's coming from
noticed
on
it
it.
because I thought it looked weird. So when I'm watching, if I remember this correctly, they all 3 came in, and the other 2 got out, and you can tell they were going to do a big 3 together entrance as they come in the ring. And then this bitch over here is just running around like a chicken with her head cut off over on the other side, and it's like, why is she in there?
I think that she might got caught up in the moment. Maybe she got caught. I don't think she did it to disrespect them. I don't think it was intentionally disrespectful.
I don't know what she was doing. It just I didn't really I didn't see all the clips on Twitter, and I didn't know it was a thing until just now, but I remember noticing it when it happened when I watched it live.
It's 100% a thing that Mark Henry's not wrong. I think that the intent, I don't believe that Kairi Sane did it to be disrespectful.
Did someone get her out of the ring? Or was she still running around the whole time?
She got out, realized where she was at and got out.
I think she did.
I think she was taking it in, honestly. And she just wasn't paying attention. But nobody from the back radioed the ref to tell her to get her out of there.
Right.
Or maybe they did. I don't know. I think that Mark Henry's not wrong, but I also know I've been in I know how wrestlers react to those kind of things. It's kind of like when the good guys are trying to chase the bad guys off and the bad guys don't run,
Mm-hmm.
and you make it look bad. those kind of things, you know, in the inside the business, Mark Henry's not wrong. It's maybe not something that he should have shared, but he's gone busted open, so he does. He didn't come off looking good on the deal, but he's not wrong.
Right. And
But
he
she
doesn't
did not.
know.
But I don't believe that her intent was to be disrespectful. I don't believe that at all.
Right. Because just like Chase said, it looked like she was maybe prepared to take a spot or something, like, so maybe there was some confusion on her part. Like you said, why Mark Henry wanted to talk about it when maybe they were supposed to do something, or they talked about it earlier and it got changed. You know what I mean? Like you said, she wasn't doing it to be disrespectful. Maybe she thought something, was supposed to happen first, but she got out. So I mean, it just
In Mark's defense, I think it's kind of okay to talk about because it's very obvious that it happened. I'm a nobody and I noticed that something was effed up there. I mean, everyone knows something was kind of screwed up. So, I mean, I think it's okay to talk about. It's not like it's a big secret.
maybe he should have just explained instead of being angry about it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I didn't know the context, and I haven't heard, and I don't know what he said. I didn't know he was angry
Maybe
about
he's just working. Maybe
Well,
he's
that's
just working
true
to get
too.
people. Maybe he's just working to get people to listen to the Busted Open podcast.
Well, I mean, it
There's
won't be
nothing
the
wrong with
Maybe.
there's nothing wrong with workers working.
right. I was
I'm
gonna
gonna have
say
to
it
go
won't be
back
the
and
first
listen to this now. I haven't heard this, so I'll have to go back and listen to it.
time.
The reviews on
This
this
match,
one, I thought initially after on the recap show that we did Saturday night immediately following night one on the Ram Network, I was very underwhelmed with this match.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I've heard since then, for some reason, this fell flat with a lot of people.
Yep.
I thought this was a SmackDown Raw match.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I felt like I've seen it before a lot.
I think, and I
And no
saw.
disrespect to these guys, and it went like I thought. Jay got what he needed, but I don't know, man. This just not seem like a WrestleMania level match to me.
Mm-hmm. I think
It
most
was
people
definitely.
thought.
Go ahead, Amy.
I was just going to say, I think most people thought their fight on night 2 and the spear off the stage, or was way more exciting than their actual match on night 1.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the spear off the stage was the best thing they did all weekend, but this match was no Owen and Brett at WrestleMania 10.
No,
That's
it's
for
time to
sure.
put these guys back together.
Yeah.
It's time to put them back together, whatever they
Mm-hmm.
need to do. Maybe they can come up with a WWE 6-man tag.
Well, and it'd be interesting. Again, we got to see where the bloodline goes from here, and if that's kind of fractured and they're just all kind of doing their own thing. I don't know.
I just don't. Okay.
Chase, chilling with Chase is nailing it tonight, man. These two
Yeah,
probably have better matches in their living room.
probably.
Right.
I just don't buy main event Jay. I don't think anyone thinks that Jay is going to be at the top of the card in the main event for the world title. If you put him in there against a guy like Brock Lesnar or Roman, I mean, it's just not going to look realistic. I don't see him there, and I don't think the fans necessarily do either.
Well, the
Right.
fans popped last night when he became the number 1 contender for the world heavyweight title.
Did they? Okay. Well, I haven't.
I haven't watched.
He won that match last night. CM Punk screwed Drew too. That was
Yeah.
CM
Again
Punk
last
screwed
night?
Drew. Drew was fixing to do the Claymore, and CM Punk came out from under the ring and grabbed his ankle in the corner and wouldn't let him do it. And that's what caused him to end up with Jay nailing him and hitting him with the frog splash.
Well,
So
I know.
CM Punk screwed Drew again, and Jay's the number 1 contender, and I'm assuming that's going to be against Damian Priest.
Well, and I know we'll talk about it when we get to night 2, but that was some great stuff. The Drew McIntyre. Oh,
There he
sweet
is, the
boy.
legend himself.
Bucky with a run in.
Bucky. Hey, sweet
Bucky's
boy.
ears are getting long. Look at them things.
Sweet, sweet boy.
All right. So we'll move on to Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch. I'm told Becky Lynch had strep throat and 102 fever for this match.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I also heard that Rhea Ripley had a small panic attack before the match.
Yeah.
Oh, how come?
But scared she's gonna get strep. This was a good match. And Rhea looked real strong winning this match.
Definitely.
And I think it went like it needed to. I don't think any of us were surprised that she retained.
No. I think she's
I'll
gonna
give
have
y'all's
it
thoughts.
for
I'm
a
going to
while.
dispose of the dog.
Okay. I loved this match. I thought it was probably I don't know. Was there other than the tag team match? This might have been the best. I mean, this and the Intercontinental is probably the top 3 matches, right?
Oh, definitely. Well, I mean, this was a good match, definitely.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think anybody thought Becky was winning. I mean,
No. I think that's the one thing that we can critique this WrestleMania for the most is kind of its predictability. I mean, almost all the favorites in Vegas won except for one, I think. So I don't know.
I loved her entrance. I loved the live music entrance. I had no idea who those people were.
It's her favorite band since she was a teenager.
Because I said, "Is that Marilyn Manson?" And the group that I was watching it with told me, "No, that's not Marilyn Manson."
Is that the only makeup wearing musician you know?
Well, Kiss retired. Kiss retired.
You know Alice Cooper. You know Alice Cooper.
That's right.
More mainstream, I guess, is what I was thinking.
Well,
Alice Cooper's pretty mainstream.
David Bowie kind of had a Sting paint job going for a while.
He did.
All right.
Anyway,
enough about the top
and now
10.
We had the main event for night 1. We had the World Heavyweight Champions, Seth Rollins, and the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, challenging the final boss and the Tribal Chief, with the stipulation that if Rock and Roman won, Sunday night would be Bloodline Rules. If Cody and Seth won, then Cody would get a fair shot with no outside interference guaranteed for night 2. We knew Cody was going to go in. We knew Cody was going to go in behind the 8 ball.
Definitely.
I thought it was a really good match.
Very good. I think one of the things, and I know I'm jumping a little bit of ahead because I did see this on Raw. One of the things we talked about, The Rock did mention how he was the one that pinned Cody on night 1. Cody pinned Roman, but Rock pinned Cody. And I think that is going to be, we knew that would be something that could help carry the story further, is Rock pinning Cody and having that win.
How great was it the way Rock handled the crowd when they started the what stuff?
Perfect.
And he just told them, y'all also set a record for being the biggest crowd of trailer trash.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, he knows he's so good that when they start that what crap, that he gets them. He can take it.
Exactly.
He knows what to do with it.
Yep. I absolutely loved this. First of all, I want to say The Rock looked to be in the best shape. I mean, maybe even better than when he was wrestling, 15 years ago. I mean, for his age, I don't know that I've ever seen a dude other than straight up bodybuilders look as good as he did. He looked fantastic. And I love this. It did its job. It told the story going into night 2. And I loved all the interaction with Rock and the referee. That made the match even more entertaining for me, with the Rock telling the referee not to count or telling him what to do or he'll fire him. And
he didn't bury the referee.
Yeah.
He gave the referee an out.
Right.
And I liked on that too that they announced that it was going to be Charles Robinson, because I truly felt like when they won that match that The Rock was going to be Lights are flickering.
Mm.
That The Rock was going to be a
The special guest.
I thought he was going to be the referee. So I was kind of surprised that he got Cody in the middle. So
I think that just adds to the story. Like I
I
said,
thought it
that's
did
going to
too. I
help
think
propel them.
Night one gave me everything I needed to get me ready for night two.
Definitely.
Yep.
I didn't feel like, I mean, I was on a high from night one. I can't wait for night two.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and Chase also said Roman was in great shape too coming back, and he was. Roman had shed a little bit of body fat, and he was absolutely ripped.
Yeah, people asked Roman about his health. I guess Pat McAfee I didn't get to hear all the commentary the way that I watched WrestleMania. I was hosting a watch party on ad-free shows, so I didn't get to hear the audio. And apparently, Pat McAfee had mentioned Roman's leukemia.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody in the press conference had asked Roman about it. Said Pat McAfee mentioned it. Can you tell us about it? And he said that he takes oral chemotherapy every day.
Yeah.
I mean, he said it's in remission. He's good now. He feels good. But it's an ongoing thing that he has to treat on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see at I guess it was night one at the scrum, he kicked somebody out?
He did.
Because they booed. And he goes, "I'm not playing. Get out." I mean, you know, I could imagine that person probably being a smart ass and they were just like, boo, you know, being, I don't know, like in the moment. And then I bet they about died when he's like, "No, get out. Like for real, get out. I'm not answering any questions until you leave." I bet that was probably like, oh.
JD Hoop, the great JD Hoop, who I tell anybody that will listen that this man has talent on loan from God himself.
Yep.
Same man that did the Fiend mask made Cody's Nightmare mask, Jason Baker.
That's cool.
I thought the Nightmare mask was good. I liked it.
Can we go ahead and should we go ahead and make this the section of the show where we put over JD and his WrestleMania outfits that we saw this week? First of all, the green nope. Let's save it for each match because I'll forget something.
Okay.
I will put you over in a minute, JD. I promise.
So now let's go into night two. If y'all lose me, y'all keep going because we have a bad storm blowing in. I can hear it through my headphones. I can hear it. And the lights were flickering. So,
okay, this is the first JD Hoop and Friends outfits here that I wanted to comment on. I love this dark green look on my boys, the Street Profits, who I absolutely love. They absolutely killed it. I loved everything about it. It was kind of a go away from their normal collar schemes that you'll see them in. So I thought for how different it was fantastic. JD, beautiful.
I think some people, I felt like there was a lot of dark green and white, maybe as a tribute to the Eagles. Like I feel like there were several outfits
I think there was some of that. JD and those guys are famous for that because the Street Profits were rocking some Titans gear at SummerSlam a couple years ago that we were at. So, yeah,
I think that's cool. I think that's good, you know.
And speaking of tributes, back in the 6 tag team ladder match, the New Day did Rocky Balboa and Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
Kofi was wearing the Italian Stallion stuff, and
Apollo
and Woods was wearing the Apollo Creed.
That was fun.
I'll spit it out.
This match went like we thought it was going to do, and with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits getting that win that they so deserved. I also want to point out that the Street Profits action figure is coming with the gear that JD designed as well.
Nice.
So next up, LA Knight and AJ Styles.
LA Knight was another one wearing a JD Hoop special.
And And his collar scheme was a little bit off his beaten path too, but it was a really cool kind of maroonish, blackish mixture on his tights, and then it had a really cool outline of the LA on the back, I think.
On the back.
Yeah.
The lady that won the sweepstakes got the Slim Jim car could not possibly been any less enthused about being on the front row at WrestleMania, receiving the car keys for the Slim Jim car.
True.
Yeah. That was hilarious.
Good for her.
Slim Jim did not get any bang for the buck out of that giveaway.
No,
I can just see it now. I can see somebody in corporate snapping into a Slim Jim. That bitch.
Exactly.
How about the crowd? How about the crowd that got Slim Jims, the section they gave Slim Jims to, and they're panning through and they're shooting the crowd. And they had a guy that had that Slim Jim in his hand like a penis, and he was committed to the bit.
There's one in every crowd.
He couldn't get that camera off of him quick enough. I was dying.
That was me in our senior pick.
Oh my God, I was dying when that guy did that.
Justin, I do think it was a good match.
Yes,
I liked it. Do that again.
That was so funny.
We need to get a still frame of that.
And all of that was more entertaining than this match to me. I did not feel this match.
You didn't?
I didn't either.
It was short, though. I will say that.
The first match was short.
I don't know why. Because I love both these guys. I think I just didn't get into this match.
I don't know. LA Knight was kind of throwing me off by the way he was working. It was like almost kind of blocky. Almost, I don't know. He didn't seem real fluid out there I don't know. Maybe I'm just being real picky. I didn't dig the match either.
Well, and maybe, I mean, is this his first WrestleMania? Could we give it to Nerves? I mean, I don't know. I feel like what they did in the ring, I mean, like I said, I thought it was fine. I don't think, like, he came to their house. He came to AJ Styles' house. And, like, for what they were doing outside, this match didn't, like, it almost should have been no holds barred. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't have that feeling.
It was missing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe it should have been, I mean, for what they were doing.
Really, and I didn't know that they pulled the Pillman Austin House gimmick. I didn't see that, I guess, or know about that.
Yeah, he got arrested.
Oh, okay.
He came outside their house. I mean, he didn't go in the house and that kind of stuff, but yeah, he made it like, you don't want to come to me, I'll come to you or something. So they were fighting out on the lawn, and AJ's wife is there. I mean, and the cops were called. So it just kind of.
Now I kind of want to go back and watch it. It sounds like a fun episode of Cops.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, something definitely was going on. I don't know, but it just seemed like maybe the match was not at the level that they had kind of built it to.
It just felt disconnected.
I think AJ Styles should have won this match. I think I like where he's going with his character. I don't have a problem with the heel AJ Styles.
Right.
I don't know. There's just something about this match. They can't all be bangers. And I'm not saying it was a bad match. I'm just saying I wasn't into it.
Right. Next.
Lucky's trying to get back in.
Next.
Well, I was into this match, though.
Heck yeah.
I was there for this match. I mean,
Logan Paul is something else.
I love that man. I am
very impressive.
I'm a devoted devotee of Logan Paul.
No kidding. And he also had green and white gear. His gear was more, I mean, again, I just noticed that.
Logan Paul is my tribal chief.
I think people forget this was his third WrestleMania.
It's his third? I did not realize
his
that.
Third. I mean, of course, I think I also heard that this was his 12th wrestling match.
I mean, it's not a wonder he has 50 million people Instagram or whatever. There's just something. I mean, I don't know. It was a very good match. I love how they double teamed him and like were beating the crap out of him. And then,
what do you think about the water bottle spot?
Yeah, exactly. Like just that was, like Kevin Owens coming out on a golf court. I thought that was hilarious.
That was funny.
And then
compared to the
backing
truck
up.
that
Yeah. Compared to how Logan Paul came out and then backed up.
Allison Faye was there. She was in the crowd. So was Coach Keith. Did anything come out of that cannon that he shot? Because I couldn't tell from when I was watching.
Oh yeah, like a shirt or something.
No.
Maybe you think.
The only thing I liked it. The only thing I would have liked it better is if you know how Randy he ripped the dude out of the bottle before he effed with him. I wish that he would have at least like gorilla pressed the guy in the bottle so we could see the bottle taking a bump, then rip him out of it and reveal it. I just think it would have been hilarious to see the bottle taking a bump on the table.
I'm with you, Allison. I had no idea who that person was.
I didn't either. It's like he
ripped off his face.
Like I was supposed to be impressed, and I was like, nope.
I'm just like, is that a wrestler? Like, I didn't have a clue. I still don't know exactly. They kept saying his name. Pat McAfee did, but I'm just kind of like, I don't really know. Well, I don't know who you are.
I would have popped for Thunderbolt Patterson.
In the bottle?
In the bottle.
Bless it.
Thunderbolt's taking a bump.
I drank some Prime, and it was.
I say a prayer to the Lord, and all of a sudden, Prime showed up.
Exactly. Logan Paul was. I think he should have won. I love how he won. Obviously, he's done that before, where
I think finishing move. Just EDT Dave.
Did he?
I think so. I mean, they were wrestling for a minute, and then they were both off screen.
Threw them. But I liked how Logan
Paul. He's enthusiastic.
Very impressive, but Kevin Owens did a finishing move or Randy Orton did a finishing move on Kevin Owens, and then Logan Paul comes and throws them out. I mean, that's just perfect. That's perfect Logan Paul.
Okay, so this is Chilling with Chase. He's educating us. I Show Speed is a streamer, and he just plays. So he's one of these guys. My kids that I teach, they do this. They sit there and watch other people play video games, and they pay these people. This guy makes money by playing video games, so that's why he's famous.
I Show Speed.
My grandson.
Okay.
My grandson. That's what he does on YouTube, and my daughter told me the coolest thing that I've ever done. The coolest thing that my grandson thinks I've ever done is showed up on his For You page on YouTube.
He was playing video games and watching other people
play video games. He logged into his YouTube, and our podcast was on there, and he's like, "Papa's on my YouTube."
That's oh goodness.
I don't know. I don't get it. I think I would rather actually play the video game than sit there and watch other people play it. But whatever. I sit there and watch people play music. So I guess what's the difference?
I think because Aaron, that's my son, he does that a lot. I think when he's watching it, he's watching how they defeat certain.
So he can do it. Yeah.
Plays or whatever.
In my video game days, you had to go to GameStop and buy the book.
And then to figure out the cheat codes.
Yeah, it was like a thick book just to figure out how to get past levels.
Yeah. But yeah, I know Aaron does that sometimes where he's, watching
like
how
homework.
No kidding.
I had a video game once called BMX XXX. And you rode this bicycle around New York collecting coins and defeating levels. But when you beat the game, you got to go to Scores, which is a gentleman's club in New York.
Lord.
And they actually had a stripper in the video game.
Nice.
Yeah, I had to get my teenage son to show me how to beat it.
I'm sure.
The level.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
We want all the nerds.
Because I wanted to see these pixelated titties on a video game on
Who
Xbox.
doesn't?
But it was actually a really fun video game.
Me, I could probably live without it. I'm just saying.
Well,
but I know I'm in a man's world here. So
we want all the nerds to listen to our show this week, because not only are we talking about pro wrestling, but we're throwing in video gaming in here too.
Stay along. Computer. We're talking.
Wait till the end of the show. We're talking about Star Trek or Star Wars. I'm sorry.
I think I like both. All right, next.
But
We
anyway,
love
still your
Logan
United
Paul.
States champion, Logan Paul.
That's right, and we love him.
Definitely.
I love my tribal chief.
And I liked him winning that. I'm not ready for Logan Paul to go away. I really enjoy him being United
No,
States champion.
I
Even if
agree.
he
And
just works at every WrestleMania, he's like the Roman Paul of the United States, or the Roman Reigns of the United States Championship. He just works pay-per-views.
I mean, he has that prime. I
He
wonder
has
if
done
that.
nothing to embarrass himself in the ring,
That's right.
and he elevates that title by being able to. It's been. I mean, let's examine Logan Paul's business model real quick. We're gonna go back.
Okay.
Logan, when's the last time y'all saw a prime commercial on television, on regular
Oh,
television, during a football game, baseball game, just a prime energy drink, prime hydration product being advertised in a regular commercial? Can you recall one?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, he's selling that shit on Instagram.
Mm.
The kids love it.
It's
It's
not
genius.
bad.
It's
I've had
genius
it.
because back in the day, Carl's Jr. Used to do that same business model. They would make a commercial. They'd have Paris Hilton out there half naked washing a car and then taking a bite of a cheeseburger
Right.
because they don't cater to women. They're not.
Mm.
It's not a healthy food product. Then they don't
Right.
care because it's good.
Very true.
They knew who their crowd was, and they would hire all these models and actresses to do these sexy commercials. They'd put them on
Right.
they put them on regular television for just the bare minimum in California to get the women's groups up in arms about it. So now they're complaining. So the first thing we all do when somebody complains about something is we go to the internet to look at it. So they're getting millions and millions of views on their commercials. So their marketing campaign was online, and they used protesters to get eyeballs on their commercials and sell CKE. It was a brilliant marketing strategy until people got until it wasn't politically correct anymore, and then they changed their advertising to where Carl's Jr. was like in the office in a hot tub with two girls, and Carl Sr.
Right.
showed up and said, "Junior, we're not doing this anymore. We're getting back to the basics." And it was a whole deal. But Logan Paul is a marketing genius,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got the United States title now, and he's proud of it, and it's prominent wherever he goes. This is a win. When he wrestled Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia, he went live on Instagram before he went to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
In less than 5 minutes, he had 70,000 people watching. That number did not start dropping down until he went to the ring. Just that quick, you can get a Logan Paul's live, and that many people on a Saturday afternoon were watching him.
Didn't he do that when he was getting ready to do a move? Like, I feel like he was on the.
He's done that too.
Maybe this wasn't the match.
This dude gets it. It's a win-win having him there for everybody.
I mean, and I know, say what you want about his brother, Jake is getting ready to fight Mike Tyson again. What kind of marketing? Like you said, they know how to. And Jake is not. I mean, he's actually won fights, not against. But you know what I'm saying? It's not like he's some goober coming out and saying, "Oh, I can fight Mike Tyson." But I mean, he's actually done very well in the boxing world.
Yeah, I don't think he has the charisma that Logan has, honestly.
No, probably not.
But you may see him eventually. I wouldn't be surprised one day you don't see him in WWE with his brother.
Definitely.
I mean, Chilling with Chase said it right before I could. People hate on Jake and Logan, but these guys are always successful no matter what.
Definitely.
You know what I'm thinking? We just had the third ever brother match that we probably would all like to forget. They could be the fourth WrestleMania brother match. The Pauls.
There you go. Io Sky and Bailey. Bailey's getting her revenge on Damage Control. And Bailey is your new WWE Women's Champion.
I liked it.
I thought it was a good match.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a good match. Bailey acted like a heel. I mean, when they went to give her the belt, she snatched the belt from the referee.
Mm-hmm.
I need Bailey to go back to being a heel now. I mean, yeah, she was betrayed by her friends, but that don't necessarily make her a face. I want her to become a total bitch again. and like the world's out to get her now that she's champion.
Well, and she may, like you said, that's a perfect, like, I still don't like you all just because my friends were mean, like you said. I mean, I think that's pretty.
Yeah, and I mean Bianca never bought into it. Like was telling Naomi to be careful because you don't
I
know
feel
everything that this woman's been doing to me, and now all of a
Right,
sudden,
right.
so I'm kind of interested to see where this goes. I think it was time to take it off of Io. I wasn't impressed with Io Sky as a champion. Most of your money in the bank champions, aren't to me aren't all that impressive because
Transitional.
well, that's how they got the belt.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't really do anything but slide in and take advantage of an opportunity that, I mean, you got to cherry pick it. Because how many of them ever go straight up for, I think John Cena did it, didn't he?
What?
Didn't John Cena have the
Oh,
money in the bank and
yeah,
actually said, I'm going to cash it in and it's going to be a legitimate match and we're not going to wait until you're laying down?
yeah. I do think he did do that.
So,
But again, that's a heel match. I mean, rarely do you see a Money in the Bank winner be a face because, like you said, it's perfect for a heel to come running out when the
Mhm.
champion is down.
yeah.
And, you know,
And Dave,
this
to
is
your
my
point, go ahead.
no, no, no,
Finish that.
no. Go ahead. I was moving on. You go.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say to your point about Bailey being a heel, the women's division kind of has a lot more faces than heels at the
Mhm.
top. So I feel like that she would slide in better to where everyone is right now as a heel, right, Amy?
Right. Well, and especially if Charlotte comes back, more than likely she's going to come. Most of the time when people come back, they cheer. So, I mean, you can't, even though Charlotte is way better as a heel,
Yeah, I
she'll
don't want
probably,
Charlotte as a face.
well, she'll probably come back in the beginning because, again, she's coming back from an injury. And I feel like
Right.
most people, they tend to want to, be happy for people, when they're coming back from an injury like that.
Yeah.
I think this was one of my favorite little segments after the match, after Drew McIntyre wins
Yeah.
and all that stuff he does, and then just to get cashed in on. And
WWE
CM
World
Punk,
Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins defends against Drew McIntyre with CM Punk on commentary.
yes,
I was
so great.
surprised. I thought CM Punk would cost Drew the match, and I knew Damian Priest was going to cash in. I felt certain of that. I thought it would be cashing in on Seth, but when he got on that table and he started screwing with CM Punk, I knew
Yeah.
this is fixing to be good.
That kind of
Yes.
gave away the kitten, didn't it? When he did that, I'm like,
Yeah, when CM Punk yanked his legs out from under him and took that arm brace off, and I liked it.
I did too.
I
I
liked it.
loved it. And then CM Punk's face when Damian Priest music started, he was just like, "Oh, this is great." He was just
Oh
like
yeah,
super happy.
the Punk and Drew is going to be good all summer.
Yes.
I think it's going to be good all summer. And I mean, we could go inside on it. And does this decision have anything to do with Drew McIntyre's contract status? I don't know. I think it's good storytelling, is what I think it is.
Oh yeah. I
I think
think
it's
it's
more good
fabulous.
storytelling. Punk and Seth that doesn't have to be for the title. Do you really want to put Punk in a title opportunity?
Punk and Drew?
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, CM Punk's having a hard time staying healthy no matter who he works for.
Right. I mean, and Drew McIntyre's mentioned that.
Yeah.
You're in rehab more than for
Oh,
someone
I
who
love
doesn't
it.
drink. You're in rehab more than
My
anybody I
favorite
know.
thing that Drew McIntyre's done in the last few months was come out and tell CM Punk, "I'm happy that you're hurt.
Yeah.
I prayed for it."
Yes, that was
awesome. I've
some
never heard
brilliant work.
anybody say they prayed for somebody to get hurt.
Yes, and then CM Punk's face, like you said,
Yeah.
it was very good. It was very good.
So, well executed segment. great way to start the show.
Definitely.
I really thought it was.
You know, sorry, before we go on, I think we missed something in night one. What about the corsage or whatever on Seth's robe when he came out there in night one?
I
Well,
like that
I had a theory.
WrestleMania. Oh, you had a theory? What?
I had a theory about it. You know how Tony Storm is doing so good at AEW, borrowing from the Carol Burnett show. Because the Tony Storm character is Nora Desmond.
Yes.
And the Harvey Korman Max character is Luther. And she's borrowed from the Carol Burnett show, and it's been tremendous. Well, she also did. Carol Burnett did a comedy parody of Gone with the Wind.
Oh yeah, she had the curtains
and the curtain rod and the curtains.
Yeah.
So I got to think that Seth's evening gown was designed by Bob Mackey, who did all the dresses.
Yeah, really.
Who did the dress designer for the Carol Burnett show, and so that's what I said is that Seth decided he'd go to the Carol Burnett show and borrow that because, man, the dude was out there and he topped it on night 2.
I definitely like outfit from day 1 versus day 2, but apparently whatever that is, they talked about it. Whatever this group was, that's really big. So I mean,
string band. I think Coach Keith was on. Coach Keith was in the Zoom on night 2 with us, and he lives in Philadelphia, and he was telling us about it.
Yeah, so he was very much dressed as part of the
Philadelphia Mummers are what they're called.
Okay, well he was very much on par with whatever they were doing. So good for him for bringing in culture from the city.
Yeah.
But that was great. I mean, like I said, it was a good match, but the best part happened afterwards.
And I'm proud that they got culture. I'm proud they got culture because my impression of the Philadelphia fans is all they knew how to do is put batteries and snowballs and throw it at opposing teams.
Okay. They
had a gel in their football stadium.
Yeah. That's true. I remember you saying that.
Can I say that I went to Philadelphia, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago to watch my beloved Redlegs play the Phillies. And we walked to get cheesesteaks and walked back. And on the way back, there was just like two blocks of a street that was just Italian shops there. You could go buy homemade pasta. This one had sauce. This one had cheese. It was really cool, just like an old Italian market. So yes, Philly has a lot of culture inside of Philadelphia for sure. That was just my one experience of just hobbling down the street, and I found some pretty cool stuff.
I'd like to go there. My good friend Jay-Z went there, and he had a good time up in Philadelphia. Mike Page, good friend of the show, Mike Page was in Philadelphia, and he did not run the steps. He said he jogged them though. But it was I'd like to visit Philadelphia. I really would. I've learned with friends going and telling me about it. It's not what I envisioned in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say what's kind of cool about where they have their stadiums. They have their hockey stadium, their NFL. I don't know. Yeah, I think the baseball. I know the baseball and the hockey and the NBA are all right beside each other, and then they have like a big building in the middle of them all where has all kinds of bars and restaurants and stuff. So they've got their stadium stuff set up pretty cool. It's pretty far south of the city. It's not like near the inner city, I think.
Domino Chris is coming in with food facts. Domino Chris, thanks for joining us tonight. Apparently in Philadelphia, there's something called a Philly taco. You put a cheesesteak on a jumbo slice of pizza and go to town.
Well,
I'm here for it.
Domino had a Cincinnati taco then because me and Domino had a Skyline Coney on top of a La Rosa's pizza. So he knows about that. I think he could pull the Philly taco off pretty easily.
I would do that. I would do that. Let's go to the main event with the entrances were interesting because Cody's for the kids,
mm-hmm.
but Roman had the kids singing for him. the children's choir that sang Roman Reigns to the ring was incredible.
Very good.
I thought that was a neat little touch on that entrance. Did JD, did you do Cody's gear? Did you design Cody's gear for WrestleMania?
Yes, he did.
I thought he did.
The coat was absolutely, as I said on Twitter or X, bold and beautiful. The all blue coat that he did. And I think this was night one. I skipped by it. The blue coat that he had on night one and the tights that he had night two, I think, were my favorite that I have ever seen. So anyways, Cody looked fantastic all weekend.
Well,
definitely.
Really cool.
He
did not one. The OG designer did not two. Okay.
Yeah, I liked. Yep. Fantastic. The blue coat was fantastic.
I just can't say enough about. I love putting JD over for what he does. He's so talented. He is he designed our logo. I mean, just think about it. We're talking about all the great things that he's designed, and he's designed our logo.
Yeah.
He designed our logo for the RAM network.
We could put his, yeah.
He designed several logos from the RAM network. His designs for the RAM network so good. We're using them all.
we couldn't pick just one.
Like there's one that actually there's one that we're using. If our producer can put a tip, if you put up the one where it looks like the emblem in the middle is giving the finger to somebody. I mean, we all just looked at it and thought, then that would look good on a black shirt.
He did, and Heather mentioned he wrote our song.
Yes, yeah,
compiled our song.
He did our song for us. So we call that pooping in high cotton. And now
Dave,
you know who else
Dave calls it that. We don't all call it that.
Who else is pooping in high cotton is Cody Rhodes, because he's your new undisputed WWE heavyweight champion.
I loved it.
And you know, when Jimmy got involved, Jay came out and made the save. Look at that.
There it is.
I mean, it's a cool logo.
That's our SmackDown logo. That's our blue version.
Yeah, I mean, but Steph said, "Who are we giving the finger to?" I love it. That that would look good on a polo and just a small logo there.
We were pooping in high cotton. No times there are not.
Pooping in high cotton is another shirt. Yes, we're gonna have to get on that. Tip, write that down. I want to get that one out this week. Like I said, Jay, when they went off the stage, I think that they really could have shot them on the floor differently. The floor level, seeing how much padding they landed in, kind of gave away the magic. They don't make.
I'm kind of glad though, because I was like, "Oh my gosh, did they just?" I mean, it was great the way he did it, because he just took off running at him, and I was glad to see some padding, because I'm like, did he overshoot that? Did he just hurt himself? Of course, that's what I'm thinking.
Watching them go off the stage and not knowing anything else would have been fine. You could have been back in the ring, back in the action.
Well, that's true.
Cody's doing the crossroads. Here comes Solo with that thumb. And he keeps kicking out. He keeps kicking out. And then John Cena comes.
Yeah.
Because the last time we saw Cena, Solo Solo put the nail in his coffin.
Yep.
So Cena comes out. And then, of course, that triggers, here comes The Rock. With that People's Champ belt that he's so proud of.
Yeah.
I mean, Ali's widow gave it to him.
You're muted, Justin.
I loved it. I just loved the fact that he just made himself a belt so he can look cool walking around with a belt.
Well, I mean, they gave it to him, and because he did do the People's Champ when he was in the Nation of Domination, and Ali liked that he did that. And it was cool with Ali. And they were actually friends because because his dad sparred with Ali when he was boxer.
Right.
So to grow up around Muhammad Ali and to have, Ali give his blessing for something like that. So The Rock's really proud of his People's Champion belt. And the Shield tease, everybody thought it was Ambrose.
I did. I really did.
Never dawned on me Seth was coming out in a flak jacket.
Yeah.
But I mean, Roman took him out just so quick when he came out. And the Shield stuff. And then his downfall was because instead of going after Cody, he was triggered by Seth with the chair in the Shield and had to get it. That betrayal had hit Seth. And I loved it. I just did. It was. Bobby says Moxley.
Yeah.
I got to say, a lot of people, me included, because I think they made that music play a little extra long.
Oh, yeah. We all thought it was Moxley or Ambrose or whatever. And then you hear instead of the glass breaking, you heard the gong and it's the Undertaker. And that was kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
Because you truly felt like Austin was going to be there.
Yeah, it had to be somebody big. And it's funny how, just kind of like you said with Seth Rollins, it's like why we automatically all thought Moxley, why we automatically thought Steve Austin when the Undertaker was there the whole week doing meet and greets. And you know what I mean? It was like, why didn't we think about him being a
Triple H had sent out a tweet at 3:16. And the time was 3:16. So you thought they were teasing Stone Cold.
Yeah. Maybe
they just couldn't get it together to get him there. Maybe he didn't want to work with The Rock. I don't know.
True. Yeah.
But hey, Undertaker, that kid's done a few things.
Yeah.
So
yes.
It was fun. True. And I like that it wasn't. I like that they went old school with the faces hitting the ring and celebrating Cody winning the championship, and Cody got Bruce in the ring. Love seeing Bruce Pritchard. Bruce looks healthy and happy. I mean, he looks like he's taking care of himself. I want to say that getting Triple H out in the ring, it was really, really, really cool. It was that because back in the day when champions won, the locker room's emptied and they celebrated. And it would have been great. So it was it was a feel-good moment.
Definitely.
And I'm trying, like I said, I was watching it on Zoom with the ad-free family. And when he handed his mama that belt, I'm like, I'm trying not. I mean, I was emotional. I was really emotional about it. And then they got on Raw the next night and gave us just what we needed. And the Philly crowd cracked me up when they wanted to trade when Rock wanted to hold the belt, and that was a new belt, and it looked like Cody was having a hard time with it. I believe it was bigger. It looked to be bigger than the other belt that he had won. And Rock wanted to hold it, and Cody said, I really thought Cody was going to tell him, you can hold it if you can beat me. But he said, I get to hold yours. And then the crowd was, this is awkward. This is awkward.
Yeah, really.
But overall, it was a solid weekend of wrestling. When wrestling's done right, there's nothing better. It was a great weekend when you can watch wrestling with your wrestling friends. It was just WrestleMania it delivered this year. And if I would have had to pay $50 to watch that, I would not have had buyer's remorse.
Yeah. Especially if you get 2 bangs for your buck. You get 2 nights in, 1 for 50. Definitely.
Yeah.
But yes, Allison was there this weekend. She was there with our buddy Jeff Jewett, who was with us last week.
I cannot believe that this was your first WrestleMania, Allison. I would have expected you to have gone to more of them. Wow.
What do you think next? I mean, obviously, I think
I think it's
I don't know.
Gunther.
Do you? Yeah,
I think it's Gunther.
That's what I've been thinking all winter, that they would go Cody Gunther for SummerSlam, but now I'm starting to think Cody Rock at SummerSlam, but I don't know if Rock's going to wrestle a singles match by himself like
No,
that.
Cody and Gunther's probably going to be in Germany.
Oh,
It may be what they're around the horn matches for the summer. They're definitely going to have The Rock when The Rock gets back. I don't know that they'll go a whole year before they put them together. Kind of sounded like The Rock said, when I get back.
oh,
And we
okay. See,
still,
I didn't watch
and
last
we don't
night.
know what Rock handed Cody in his hand. It's widely speculated it's the watch that he might have broke his watch. For those that don't know, Bruce Pritchard, Nick Khan, and Triple H got together, and once upon a time, Dusty pawned his Rolex. I can't tell you that. I'm not like Conrad that I know all these models, but he had one that was pretty much a fairly common Rolex to be worn, but not Dusty. He had one that was kind of like that, but it was gold and it was different. And he pawned it, got $10,000 for it, handed Cody until the 10 grand, and told them they could go to Hollywood and chase their dream. And they never knew that their dad pawned his watch so they could do that. And apparently, I don't think that they found the actual watch. I think they found one like it. I could be wrong. Maybe they found the watch, but it's still to give him that Rolex. They, got some jewelers together and they tracked down one of those Rolexes and gave it to him as a gift. And maybe they're going to say that was what that broken watch, that he broke it and gave it to Cody. Don't you ever break my heart again.
They also were talking about how, I guess, Cody gifted watches to the participants, Roman, Seth, and maybe he gave the Rock one, and maybe the Rock was giving it back. But I don't know.
Oh, I don't know either. I've never heard that.
Yeah, I mean, where I saw it, I couldn't tell you, but again, I think the idea is it was a watch of some sort, or it was a gift. It was something sentimental.
Bruce was the one who found this one, right? Isn't that what I heard? I think Bruce was the one who figured this out. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I know Conrad knows a guy too.
Yeah, them two working together probably figured it out, I'd say.
And so, Amy, I want to take this time right now to thank everybody for being here. We're about to wind it up. We've gone long. Amy wanted to go to bed. She hadn't been feeling good.
I've had fun as always with y'all.
But we have a on patreon.com. You can go to the Ram Network. The Ram Network is not going to replace what we do here. It's going to be in addition to, with bonus content. We've teamed up with TNA Top 10 and the Filter Free Popcast. We're mixing, matching, doing wife swaps, and doing some shows. Not literal wife swaps, you know what I'm saying. Like me and Andrew did a show. Me and Timmy C have done over the weekend. I had Timmy C and Andrew, and I had me and T Weave did the post game show the other night. We're gonna mix match. Like me and Timmy are gonna sit down and watch World Class. Andrew and Allison are gonna do cooking show. and they'll figure out a way to tie it all back into wrestling. We can go on there and we can do whatever we want to do on the Ram Network.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're inviting you to come along with that ride for us. It's going to be all bonus content. We're going to try to give you as much bang for your buck as we can, but we're not going to change how we're doing things here.
Domino Chris. Domino Chris said, talking wrestling after dark, wife swaps.
The reason I said that is when I lived in Dallas, there's a sports radio station, 1310 The Ticket. They're on the FM too, 96.7, I think. But to me, it's always going to be 1310 The Ticket. And they would do after once a year, they would have a day where they all mixed and matched the hosts from all the different shows, and they called it the Ticket Wife Swap.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes the old ticket jargon comes back to me, and that's why I called it that.
I like it.
So if you want a wife swap, come over to the Patreon.
We're always up for new ideas, so you never know. But one of the things that I am doing over on the Patreon is with my compadres of all of the Ram Network is I have a segment, show, whatever you want to call it. It's called Amy Asks. And I thought we could play
Oh.
And I thought we could maybe just instead of trivia tonight, I thought maybe we could do some of the questions to you two. I don't think I've I went on TNA Top 10 last week and kind of played the game with them. I've been on FFP and got to do it with them, but I've not gotten to do it with you all. So, all righty. These are questions that come. They're supposed to be like icebreakers, and so they're just things that helps us get to know each other. So, first question: when you eat out at a restaurant, do you like something
at a restaurant?
What? What'd I do?
Dave, when you eat out
at a restaurant.
Okay. We're ready now.
I don't even understand why that's funny, so I'm going to go to a whole different one, I think, because I I feel dirty.
I promise we're ready. I hope the next question is as good as the first.
Do you like trying something new, or do you stick to what you know?
Oh, okay. I am, for the most part, if it's a good restaurant and I trust them to have good food, if it's like an Applebee's, I'm going to get what I know. Okay.
Yeah.
I ain't going to go off the beaten
special.
But if it's a good restaurant, I will definitely try something that I haven't had there before.
Depends on where we go. Depends on where we go and how hungry I am. I like to be adventurous. I like to try new things. But if I go, like if we go to Tony's locally here, we go to Tony's Seafood. 9 times out of 10, I'm getting a catfish basket.
Mm-hmm.
The other night, I thought about getting.
Hold on, Dave. So, do we understand when you eat out, you like catfish? Is that what you're saying? Okay, I just wanted to.
But I mean, I'll normally order the catfish there. I had the shrimp the other night because I was hungry, but I almost had the seared tuna.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! Stop.
I got my eye on the seared tuna. But if you're hungry and you get something that sucks, it's. But if like when we travel somewhere and we go, I'm all about going places that I've seen on the Food Network and trying. I like to try new things. So there.
I loved what Domino Chris just said.
If it's Hinge, I'm going to stick with that. I know. If it's Tinder, I might try something new.
Oh, goodness. Who would have thought?
Oh, this is my favorite Amy ask ever.
I'll just say,
But the bottom line is, eating out is fun.
Yeah. And Dave goes on the fish side when he eats out.
Dang.
That's what we
Next
learned.
Answer Willie Buck's question is, I will be in Oak Grove, Louisiana, Saturday night for Bayou Independent Wrestling.
By God.
Cool.
He'll be there.
Yes, Willie Buck, I will be there.
Next question. What is your favorite thing about your hometown?
Oh, well, should I say this? I'm from Seaman. Seaman, Ohio. Seaman, Ohio. That's the name of where my school is located.
Well, now this is about learning. So this is all about learning. This show, yes, Lance, is totally.
This is a great game, Amy. You asked about board games the other night. We went all the way off the rails too.
It's true. Right. That's very true.
What I love best about my hometown.
Where is your hometown?
Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the traffic. It's
I like how he's taken a long time to find something good.
Well, I'm trying to I'm weighing it that I'm thankful that they have an excellent hospital and plastic surgery department.
That's right.
That's very true.
Or the Dallas Stars. Because 30 years ago, I discovered the Dallas Stars, and
and
that if you get shot in the head, Baylor Hospital is the place to go.
Two good things. Dallas Stars.
The Von Erichs Sportatorium. Yeah, the birthplace of my wrestling fandom is what I love about my hometown, the Dallas Sportatorium.
There we go.
Awesome.
And by the way, Seaman, Ohio is spelled Seaman, as in Seaman. So all you people with your...
Did you say anything about what is your favorite thing about your hometown? Hopefully not just the name.
I don't know.
It's got a reproductive name.
Yeah. I mean, there's really not much to say.
Chilla Chase says that his hometown is Thousand Oaks, California. And my favorite thing about that is that it used to be the Dallas Cowboys training camp.
Oh.
I learn something new every day.
Exactly. All right. Next question. What are 3 foods that are always in your kitchen?
Jelly beans a food?
Jelly bean is a food. You got to name 3. What are 3 things that are always in your kitchen?
Spaghetti.
Noodles.
Hamburger meat.
That's something Dave can cook good, this spaghetti.
Do you like, what kind of jelly beans? Are you like the Jelly Bellies, like with all the different flavors? Or do you like, what kind of jelly beans do you like?
Starburst from Starburst flavor bursts.
Ooh, those are good. Like they're always, I mean, I think they were there whenever I was at your house, but
legitimate foods is the stuff. We always have stuff for spaghetti. We always have hamburger meat, and we always have we got a lot of potato chips.
I bet
there's no shortage of potato chips at the Holiday Inn.
Well, I'm gonna go eggs. Like I always gotta have eggs because when you're in a pinch and you get home late, you can always have breakfast for dinner. This is something I've learned over my years. So eggs are important. Milk I always have to have in my fridge. I've been a milk drinker since I was a wee little child. And then I would say number 3. This is hard, but I don't know. I would probably say all the time nuts. Like I always have like assorted. I'm a nut guy, Dave. Semen and nuts.
Semen and nuts.
That's a t-shirt.
Lord. We can come out with all kinds of shirts. So, okay, we'll do this last question.
Damn the rumor. It's just innuendo with us.
So, what recent event? No, wait, that's not.
Justin's working overtime to get his own shirts out of this episode.
That's
I'm
true.
a nut man. All right.
I went all the way to Seaman, Ohio, and all I got was a mouthful of nuts.
I went to visit Justin's hometown of Seaman, Ohio, and all I got were these lousy nuts. Are you more introverted or extroverted?
Introverted.
I see that. Dave?
Well,
I think there's only one answer for you here, Dave. I don't feel like Dave owns anything yet.
Dave's trying to figure out how to quietly Google what the hell she's asking me. I'm extroverted.
Right. You are definitely extroverted.
I'm extroverted.
Life of the party. An introvert is someone who's not a big crowd person and just, is not real talkative. Is not going to walk up to people and just start
I'm a vert.
chatting.
There's definitely a vert in what I am.
What was Teppy yelling? Allison said.
Oh, yeah.
She was telling you.
She's like, this isn't even a question.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, there's only one choice. I didn't even hear what she was saying.
Yeah.
Teppy's in there like, answer the damn question. It's not even a question.
She didn't realize that you were struggling on the definition of what I was asking.
All right. Is that all of our questions?
Yeah, that was just a little tidbit.
This is a lot more fun than trivia.
Oh, trivia is fun. We'll do that every so often. We'll break it up a little bit.
Yeah,
so,
this is
fun.
You know what? Maybe we should do at the beginning of trivia, just ask one of these questions to start trivia, and then we'll do trivia.
Yeah, this is going behind the paywall. This is too good.
Well, like you said, we talked about board games, and then the next thing you know, that was one of our questions, and then somehow we went spiraling into the atmosphere with people.
Yeah.
And who knows, so.
Well, I suspect that this week we may come up with a bunch of new shirts over at jumpinthepond.com. Promo code pond. Promo code Ram Network for 15% off.
Woohoo!
We have definitely said it all, and I think we've said enough.
Definitely.
Want to remind everybody, I know that a lot of people watch this on Facebook, Twitter. Some people are watching on Twitch.
We are so close to 400 subscribers.
But hey, swing by you. Chilling with Chase is with us on YouTube. Allison Faye's with us on YouTube.
Yeah. I was with us on YouTube.
It don't cost anything to go to YouTube. pwdpod.com. Help us out. Click subscribe. You don't even have to click like on anything. I'm not asking you to work overtime. Just click subscribe. In the immortal words of Dr. Evil, throw me a freaking bone.
We just asked you to take care of business, not work overtime.
Right.
Just take care of business and hit the subscribe.
Every day.
Yeah.
And if you really want to be an overachiever, create another account and click subscribe on that one too.
Like we have all had to do.
Hey, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to make a confession. I'm going to make a confession. I mentioned earlier that my grandson thinks it's cool that I'm on his homepage on YouTube. Mm-hmm. It's because he stayed logged in on my television and I subscribed on his account.
Yeah. I knew what you did.
You got to do what you got to do.
Well, I just want to say also on Mother's Day, when y'all go see your mommies and you're eating that dinner at the dinner table, grab mama's phone and subscribe on your mom's phone too.
We're for everybody.
That's right.
I think, right?
Hey, I'm at that. Your Meemaw is in my demographic. I'll assure you that I'm your Meemaw's favorite referee. Matter of fact, I'm going to ask our ring announcer at BIW to start introducing me as your Meemaw's favorite referee, Dave Miller.
That'd be funny. TNA said they're three. They're three of our subscribers.
I appreciate it.
We appreciate that very much.
Y'all just don't know how it makes my day when I get up in the morning and I click on the YouTube channel and there's another subscriber.
We got a subscriber.
It moves a little bit, don't it, Dave?
Yeah.
It moves. Wake up,
yeah.
It moves a little.
He said that earlier.
Did he?
354.
So close. I mean, we really are. We're just.
Anybody remember who's chopping me at 400 this time? I'm getting
I
double
thought it was
chopped,
a
isn't I?
double chop from Angel.
Oh my God. Disregard all that subscribing that I just mentioned.
I think, yeah, and Vladimir wants to get, and somebody else wanted to do something.
Vladimir gets entirely too excited about that stuff.
Maybe Aaron Eagle. He
Yeah.
probably wants to smack me.
The only double chop Dave's ever taken is a double pork chop down there at the Ponderosa, but he's going to take a hard double chop coming up if we get 400 subscribers. So hit us up if you haven't.
It's what I do. It's what
That's
I do.
right. Take us home.
Take us home,
We
Justin.
reviewed WrestleMania.
Oh,
We
let
did
me promote what's coming up, because we're fixing to.
Yep.
The next four shows are going to be in conjunction with hang on.
I want to say to Dundee made this question that he has. I would say no. I do not think you would be wrong. I think it was a very great feel good Mania of all time. Definitely. Even Ohio is going to be on location. I say we do it.
Well, we got a Gold Star chili there, Domino. So show on up, and we'll get us some conies in Seaman, Ohio.
We do have some pretty great guests coming up from is it Coastal?
It's going to be 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks from now.
Oh,
when we start the Coastal.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was next week. April 23rd. We're going to have Simon Phillips on. You heard me mention Simon Phillips. I'll be working with Simon Phillips in McGee, Mississippi at Lost Art of Wrestling on May 31st.
Oh, cool.
So that's going to be fun. He was their champion and was recently stripped.
Oh.
So he's either going to we'll find out what happened there. We're going to go Thursday on May 2nd. We're going to skip Tuesday night and go to Thursday that week, so we can have Justin Flo on our show. And then on Tuesday, May 14th, we're going to have May 7th, we're going to have the Manimal, Caden Marks.
Cool.
On our show. Then we're going to follow up with the promoter, Ben Rowe. And
they've got a really cool promotion down there. I mean, they promote veterans. It's really neat.
And the talent that we're going to talk to before we talk to the promoter, they don't just work in Florida. They also they're working Pro Wrestling 225 down in Houma, Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, Simon Phillips just recently had a match with Steve Anthony, and I cannot wait to talk to him about it.
Oh, cool.
So we got some fun stuff coming up, and I can't tell you who's going to be here next week. Maybe we'll give Kyle Davis another chance to show up next week. Kyle, if you can work us into your schedule next week.
Oh, well.
Now you can take us home.
All right, now we can go home.
Yes.
So I want to say thank you to everyone in the chat. Domino, Dundee there, Allison, TNA Top 10, Willie Buck, of course, all the people over there, Whitney that have here every week with us. We really appreciate you all. And for Teppy, who we've heard a lot from today in the show, she's having to put Dave in his place a few times during this show, but the great producer Teppy, for Amy and for Dave, my name is Justin Davis saying take care of yourself and each other. So long, everyone.